My name is Paul Godsell, and I teach math at PALS. And I first found out about PALS, it was July the 1st, Canada Day, in 2016. I was wandering around trying to fill up time before going to a barbecue when I saw this sign on the wall, and it said, or on a tree, and it said, book sale. So I thought, well, I'll go to that. And Bonnie was there, and I didn't know Bonnie, and they were talking about tutoring and things like this, and it was mostly literacy. And then I heard somebody say, what about math literacy? And I said, yeah, I'd like to do that. So I inquired about it, and so I went for some interviews and some background checks, and then I started teaching in January of 2016, and I found out what a great place to teach. They got the 4 girls there, Monica, Valerie, where is everybody? Helen, and Bonnie. And it's just a great place, it really is. There's no authority figures, everybody, you know, gets on with everybody. You're telling jokes all the time and having lunch together. And I used to make jokes about it. Everybody used to say, don't drink the coffee, Helen made that. And it was unbelievable. And my students had tried, they have headaches in the afternoon. And she said to me one day, is it too strong? I said, too strong. And he said, it'd melt the foreskin off a rhinoceros. So we just get along. Everybody has lunch. Nobody's in authority. But the girls really work. Don't kid yourself. They do their stuff. They're there lots of hours, and they do an awful lot of work. And when you come in after the weekend, I only work the 2 days, all day Monday and all day Thursday. But when I come in, it's nice to see them. You feel like, because I don't see a lot of people in the winter, so it's nice to see them, you know? It really is. And one of them's away. You feel like you missed out, you know? Now there's a slogan on the PALS bookmark that says, change a life, become a tutor. Well, that's a little bit misleading, because it should say, change 2 lives, become a tutor. Because it really changed mine. It really did. I was doing nothing. I got a degree in mathematics and all types of other things, and but it gave me structure, gave me something to do. You know, gave me purpose, gave me something to get out of bed, do something, you know. Gave me something to look forward to. Because when you're lying in bed on a Monday morning and you've got to get up and teach, you think, ooh, I can lie in the next 2 days, you know. So it makes you feel pretty good. And then the people themselves, you know, when you're teaching and they're smiling and the guys understand things and they say, wow, I got that, I understand that. You know, give us another question, give us a tougher one, give us some homework. You realize you're reaching these people, you know? And it really is. It makes you feel great, you know? And so when the class is over and they say, thanks, Paul, I really learned a lot today, and you feel great, you put your coat on and you walk down the steps and you walk out to the street and you start to sing. I've got the world on a string sitting on a rainbow. I've got the string around my finger. And then some idiot will be looking at me like this. So I show him a card and tell him I've got musical Tourette's. So I get away with it. So anyway. And to anyone out there who's thinking of or knows somebody who wants to spend a couple of hours, you should really do this. It's unbelievable, the experience, the state of the satisfaction you get out of it. You know, you just can't believe how good it makes you feel. You feel like Santa Claus every time, you know, it's giving and receiving. You get more than they get. You really do. When they say thank you. I had a guy recently from Fort McMurray, he came down. He only had 3 weeks to pass his test, and it was his 3rd test, and he had 7,000 hours in, and if he didn't pass it this time, he was finished. All his hours were finished. And we worked through 4 days a week, 7-8 hours a day, and he made it. And he came back and hugged everybody, and everybody went, not made for him, because he worked a lot on his own. So this guy was great, and he made it. I just wish he was here tonight. He's probably still in McMurray. But now he's got so many hours in, he can just go to school 3 times and almost get his journeyman. So the guy really worked at things. But I'll tell you, the proudest moment I had through PALS was a Saturday morning. April the 1st, a few weeks ago, I was in line to get my locker at the Riverside Golf Course. And I was the first guy there because I had to get one for somebody else. And when I was waiting, a buddy showed up. We were all buddies. And the guy was saying to me, "So you still teaching mathematics?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, who do you teach?" Well, I said, "Well, I teach Somalians and Afghanistans and people from Ethiopia, people from Nigeria, people from Congo." And he said to me, "So you teach immigrants?" I thought about that for a minute. And that kind of upset me. Because everybody, there's a stigma to that word, to me anyway, which means you're just a rung below Canadians. But we're all immigrants. Everybody here somewhere, it's 3 down, 2 down. I was born in England. I'm an immigrant. So when he said to me, "So you teach immigrants?" I thought about it for a while and I said, "No, I teach future Canadians." And that's what made me feel really good. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah.